All right, so now we're going to actually be writing the correct equation or inequality and then solving. Now, this is a combined level 2 and 3. If you are able to write the equation and solve, but not able to do the inequality, then you're at a level 2. You need to do both the equation and inequality to earn a level 3. So, or vice versa, if you can do the inequality and not the equation, you're still at a level 2. Or if you can set up the equation and inequality, but you can't solve, that's still a level 2. So you must be able to do the equation and inequality, write the correct equation and inequality for each word problem, and solve the equation and inequality to earn a 3. So you do need to actually write an equation and inequality for each of these. You cannot just do it in your head. I need to see that you're able to create the correct situation here, the correct equation or inequality. Now, number 1 says Pristine Printing will print business cards for 10 cents each plus a setup charge of $15. So 10 cents each would be 0.1 and then times the number of business cards that we're printing in Pristine Printing. And then it says plus a setup charge of 15, that's just a one-time fee. So I'm going to do plus 15. The printing place, which is a separate place, offers business cards for 15 cents each with a setup charge of $10. So that would be 15 cents, which is 0.15, times the number of business cards you print at printing place, plus a standard setup charge, a one-time fee of $10, so plus 10. And we want to figure out what number of business cards, which is X, the number of business cards we have as X, plus the same from either printer, so same means equals. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to take my expression that I have for Pristine Printing, which is 10 cents X plus 15, and I'm going to set it equal to the expression I have for the printing place, which is 15 cents X plus 10. And now I'm going to solve for X, and so this is just a standard equation. We're going to get the X on one side of my equation, so I'm going to subtract 0.10X from both sides. And when I do that, I have a 15 is equal to a negative 0.05X plus 10. And so now I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides, and I wind up with a 5 is equal to, it shouldn't be a negative 0.05, it should just be a positive, so is equal to a 0.05 X. And then now I'm going to divide by 0.05 on both sides. And a 5 divided by a 0.05 is 100. And so we're going to write our answer in a sentence here, because when we're answering word problems, we want to make sure that we have our answer kind of clearly labeled and thought out. So 100 business cards. Need to be printed for both printing companies to cost the same. All right. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the correct equation or inequality, so you would need to have the correct equation, and I'm looking for the correct answer and a well thought out answer in a sentence. All right, so number 2, a skier is deciding whether or not to buy a season ski pass. A daily pass costs $67. So if you go skiing on the daily ski pass, you're going to pay $67 per day, because that's a daily pass. So $67 per day. I'm going to do X is the number of days. A season pass costs $350. That means when you buy a season pass, that's just a one-time fee. So you're just paying the $350. But the skier is going to have to rent skis with either pass for $25 per day. So both passes I need to spend $25 every day, and remember the amount of days is X. So how many days, that's what we're trying to find, that's our variable, that's X, would the skier have to go skiing in order to make the season pass less expensive than the daily pass? So the season pass costs you $350 for a one-time fee, but then remember you have to rent skis for $25 per day. So that's going to be added to my season pass cost. I want my season pass, which is this in blue right now, to be less expensive, meaning I want it to be less than. I want it to cost less than my daily pass, which my daily pass is $67 every day. But I'm also renting skis with that daily pass, so that's going to be an additional 25x. This is the correct setup. This is what I'm looking for when you are working to set up the equation or inequality. And now I'm actually going to solve. Well, both sides have a 25x in them, so if I decide to subtract 25x from both sides, guess what? My 25x's just disappear, which is awesome because now I just have a 350 is less than a 67x. And now I can just divide by 67 on both sides. Now, this is going to get a little tricky, and we're going to need to use our common knowledge or common sense to think about this. So a 350 divided by a 67 is a 5.22. That is going to be less than x. X represents the number of days. I could rewrite this as x is greater than 5.22. So we can only rent skis and do our daily pass for a whole day. 5.22 is not a whole day. If I round down to 5 days, then that would actually make the daily pass less expensive. So I do need to round up to 6 days. And I'm going to have a well thought out answer in sentence form. That's my answer. 6 days. All right, a band went to a recording studio and recorded 4 songs in 3 hours. So that's a rate. And rates can be set up in fraction form. So 4 songs in 3 hours. How long will it take for the band to record 9 songs if they record at the same rate? Same means equal, so I want the same rate, and this time I want 9 songs in X amount of hours. Well, I'm going to match up my numerator of my first fraction, which is songs, needs to match with the amount of songs that I'm creating now, which is 9 songs. And the time is the denominator in this fraction, and that needs to match up with the time in my other fraction. So how long is X? That's what we're trying to find here. This is your correct setup. We're going to, since this is a proportion, a fraction equal to a fraction, we're going to cross multiply. So I have a 4x is equal to a 27. And now I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. X comes out to be a 6.75, which it does say how many hours. We don't talk in that language of, oh, 6.75 hours. No, this is 6 hours. But then we need to convert the 0.75 into minutes. So a 0.75 converted into minutes, since there are 60 minutes in an hour, I'm going to multiply that 0.75 by 60, and I wind up with 45. So what this means then is that it would take the band 6 hours and 45 minutes to record the 9 songs at the same rate. And that's it. A well thought out answer in a sentence form. All right, number 4. I have Walter is a waiter at a town diner. He earns a daily wage of $50, plus he's going to earn tips that are equal to 15% of the total cost of dinners that he serves. We want the total cost of dinners that he serves, which is going to be X because that's what we're trying to find, if he earned $170 on Tuesday. Well, I'm just looking at one day here, and one day he gets a daily wage of $50, so that's a flat wage that he got for working on Tuesday that one day. Plus, he earns 15% of the total cost of dinners he serves. 15% means out of 100, so 15 out of 100 is the same as 0.15 X. So we want 15% times X, which is the total cost of dinners that he served. And he earned $170, meaning his total means equal. It equals $170. So now we're just trying to find X, which is the total cost of dinners that he served. So I'm going to subtract 50 from both sides. I have now a 0.15X is equal to a 120. I'm now going to divide by 0.15 on both sides to get X is equal to 800. So what this answer means, I'm going to type out a well thought out sentence that he served $800 worth of dinners on Tuesday. And that's it. All right, we have one more problem to do. Lisa brought half of her savings to the bakery and bought 12 croissants for a total of $14.20. The amount of money she brings home with her is more than $2. So whatever I bring home, it's more than $2. How much did Lisa have in her savings? So that's going to be represented by my variable before going to the bakery. She brought half of her savings, so 1/2 times the amount of money she had in her savings, which is X. And then she bought 12 croissants for a total of 14. Oop, I apologize. This shouldn't be plus because she had half of her savings. And now she's spending some of her savings on the croissants, so $14.20 would be subtracted from the half of the savings that she brought. And she's bringing more than $2 home with her, so that's greater than $2. This is our correct setup. I'm now going to add $14.20 to both sides. And I have half times her savings is greater than $16.20. To get that half to the other side, I'm not going to divide by 1/2. Instead, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2/1. And 2/1 is just a 2. So I have X is greater than $32.40. So I'm going to type out my well thought out answer, which states that Lisa had more than $32.40 in her savings account. All right, that brings us to the end of our lesson. Now you're going to move on to the practice.